Hello y'all. Welcome to part 18 of my Italy playthrough in the game Hearts of Iron 4. In part 17 we continued our operations as Italy in the Americas, but that's all going to change now because at this point we're going to focus more on Asia instead of North and South America. So let's establish Army Group 2 led by a Field Marshal. We have one Field Marshal here. And let's create Army Group 2. And they're going to be led by, maybe, who can we have here lead this force? Who's the better commander here? I don't know. Let's go with Emilio Di Bono, who is currently leading the 8th International Army. It's basically a ton of divisions consisting of a bunch of divisions consisting of units from our puppets, such as from Ukraine. Maybe not, no, not Ukraine. Legionary Transylvania, Bessarabia, and Hungary, Russia, expeditionary divisions from Hungary, and units from the Russian Empire. So we're going to have units there. We're also going to give them Army 6, possibly. Where's Army 5? What are they doing? They're sitting in reserve. So let's take Army 6 and give them over to the 2nd Army Group. And we're still going to dedicate stuff like naval bombers to the American theater, but we are stopping our advances there because there's just too many divisions for us to fight as Italy on the offensive. So we're just going to play more of a defensive role in the Americas at this point. So abandon all of our offensive operations there for the most part. We're still going to use naval bombers a ton, like I said, but we sunk a battleship there. What is that, the USS Arkansas? That's gone down in the Mediterranean. The Battle of Port-au-Prince near Haiti. And we're just not going to dedicate as much resources we once had in the Americas. We will now focus on Asia. We'll now move all that stuff to Asia instead. We'll probably end up using nuclear bombs somewhere in the Americas in the long run. Honestly, maybe we'll build up our resistance, our intelligence agency, and we could use them. They could be used. The intelligence agency could be used for maybe starting coups in some member states of the Allies. I don't know, but let's expand them by doing intelligence upgrades. Let's see here, let's do the cryptology department, form that. Unassigned divisions, these are from Iraq, send them to the 10th International Army. And at this point we will have 3 armies in the 2nd Army Group that will focus on the theater in Asia, and they'll be going to, let's send them to Russia. And why we're doing that is because all this land here the Germans are fighting for with Japan. Once we capture that, all that land will default to our puppet, the Russian Empire, who could use the extra industry and manpower we will get from capturing those states. So let's move these units here. Let's also give these 3 divisions to the 10th International Army. Or no, just keep them. Actually, no, that will be 3 divisions in the 10th International Army. I'm really skeptical about the performance of the international forces, but we'll see what they can do. And this will be 66 divisions, focusing on Asia now for Italy. And let's begin our push that will see us try and take a lot of Siberia, Xinjiang, and Mongolia. We can just check out what happens there in the future. And we are fighting Japan and the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. Mongolia is their puppet, I think. So is Dictatorial Xinjiang. And let's have our units start moving there now. There seems to be some offensive action by the Germans. We got to keep a close eye on the Americas though, just so we don't lose our positions. There's a offensive there taking place in Central America, in Yucatan. The Germans sent some troops into Venezuela. It's not going pretty well for them though, I think. They still have a port, I believe, but if they can't, I don't know. It's a mess down there. It definitely is a mess. That's all I can say. How are we doing in New England? Holding out, digging in. We just got to get as high of entrenchment values as possible in those areas. We just researched jet engines. We have more factories built up now. And let's focus more dockyards on the production of vessels, maybe some more submarines. I don't know. Build some cruisers, perhaps. Just build up our navy, and maybe we could use them for some operations in the Americas at some point, or they could be used in a potential invasion of Japan in the future, but that will be sometime probably in 1946. We had to estimate, honestly, we won a battle here. Okay, another naval battle. Sunk some ships, I guess. Sunk the USS Portland has been sunk. We sunk the USS Phoenix. And let's deploy more naval bombers into this area. Where are we at here? Naval bombers, 100 naval bombers. There we go. and they're going to be patrolling the Florida coast more than likely. Perhaps give them one fighter squadron as support so they don't get shot down constantly. Do we have enough fighters for that? Maybe? Hopefully? Okay, no we don't. I don't know then, just send those fighters to back up those units and those air units in the Florida coast. We have 2 squadrons there now. With so many squadrons in the Americas, let's start setting up a few in Asia. So we have a fighter squadron here in the Western Steppe. They've been there probably since our war with the Soviet Union ended. And let's move some more planes to the east. Go to this airbase in Roslav, whatever. Move them there. And let's keep moving some planes around. And the problem is the airbase capacity in these areas isn't very large. So we do have to worry about that. Let's send them to Arctic Russia. Maybe that might work. For now, perhaps? I don't know. Our planes may need more range. So I'm not entirely sure how well that will work. Although we do have some close air support air wings we can establish. So let's get a ton of them set up. And on the topic of setting up squadrons and such, we probably need to get more fuel to maintain our air superiority around the world in both the Americas and in Asia. And that demand, the amount of fuel we use per day for the Italian Air Force is only going to go up as we build up our presence in Asia. So keep setting up close air support air wings. I hope we have enough production to replace any losses, but I don't know. This is a ton of close air support. We need bigger airfields, honestly, bigger air bases. We can't get any more fighters right now, but we can at least get some trade done to try and cover our fuel cost here. And we aren't getting anything from I don't know what's going on with Iran. Let's trade with Germany maybe, get the fuel we need. That's done. Thank you, Germany. And so we have our divisions being moved to Asia now. They're being set up to fight in, I guess, what would be the new Eastern Front. Let's unpause here. More divisions are being transported to their new positions. And there's tons of supply issues here, I think, because there's so many divisions just stacked in one place, fighting against like 1 or 2 divisions of the greater East Asian co-prosperity spear just idling around for some strange reason. But we're going to go on the offensive when possible. Can we just make this aggressive, please? Execute this in an aggressive manner. That's going to be done. And where are those planes going? Are they set up yet? They are going to try to be set up. Can we move them to the Western Steppe? I don't care. Go to some kind of air base and be useful. Set up here. We need to get bigger air bases. That's what we need to do. Get these planes out of Roslav, whatever, in Belarus, I think they're located. Get them out of there. Send them into Central Asia. Just overpack that tiny little air base in Bukhara. But they're going to be operational now, doing close air support missions, and hopefully that will be enough to get the close air support dominance we need to pull through. And we have more air wings we could establish, maybe some strategic bombers, but let's not worry about that. There seems to be a German advance here. That's good. Can we advance at all? Ace pilot promoted. Okay. And we have so many planes concentrated in the Great Steppe, I think it's called. Yeah, the Great Steppe. I hope we have close air support dominance at this point. We should. And Bessarabia cancels their Lend-Lease with us. Oh well. And how are we faring in the Americas? There is some defensive action taking place. We are holding our lines. We're being kicked out of Bessarabia, though. Not Bessarabia, but out of the... Yeah, we're losing ground in New Brunswick for some reason. There's just so many planes here. It's absurd. We're just trying to dig in, though. We may be forced to just fall back to Halifax and hold Nova Scotia, because there's just so many American planes there in New England. Like, let me go to that now. A Canadian operative was captured. Okay, we have ways of making you talk. Let's go to the air region, and you can see how bad it is. Look at all those planes. Like, that is too many. Have them just focus on the maritime region. Just do that instead, because we can at least dig in and hold there, possibly. I hope we can, anyway. And how's the close air support? How's everything going in the Atlantic? We have sunk more ships. Good job, Italian naval bombers. And that's good. A battleship went down. A USS Charles F. Hughes was sunk by a naval bomber. Okay, I think we're hitting some of their shipping also. The USS Quincy was destroyed by our naval bombers. So was the USS Astoria. It was a 1936 era cruiser. And now we have no enemy cipher being decrypted. We set up our cryptology department. Let's become the spy master and maybe get some spies. Germany's going to be fine with that. Let's go to our intelligence agency once more and try to improve upon that to at least get our cryptology to be as high as possible. If we can just try to get the cipher of the Americans cracked or something, or at least let's try it on the Japanese first, since we're actively expanding into their territory. So let's go here, click the map, click on map to add a country. There we go. So that intel will be ready in a long amount of time, and we are now the spy master of our faction. Okay, and that's good for the Axis, I suppose, and we are advancing more into Asia. Well, the Russian Empire territory. Can we advance here at all? There's too many divisions here, frankly. Let's actually, I know what's going wrong. We have not called the Russian Empire to war, and that's why our allies are so inactive in the east. So let's call them to arms, and there we go. Everything should get really offensive now. There it is. The great offensive has begun. I never realized the holdup was that we had not called our allies to war just yet. We probably caught the Japanese by surprise, though, because there's a huge buildup of Axis forces in Russia, in central Russia, I guess you could say. And let's take advantage of that to take a lot of territory for the Russian Empire. A Canadian operative was captured. How is stuff faring in the Americas? We are holding ground still. Yeah, we are. Good, just hold, dig in. And Saudi Arabia, well, the Arabic Empire wants to join a war. And I think they were called Italian Central, yeah, they're still called Italian Central Arabia. I don't know why it said the Arabic Empire. Maybe that's their standard fascist name when they're not a puppet by another fascist country, or country in general. And no enemy ciphers being decrypted. Decrypt Japanese stuff, okay? Get that done. Get that done, please. There we go. And so we're advancing more into Russia now. We're trying to take all this territory for our puppet, and I don't think the Japanese were really ready for a total offensive from the Axis in the Far East. I didn't realize we had not called Russia into the war. That's why everything was so inactive here. It doesn't matter anymore now because we're going on the offensive in all places. Just break through where we can, take anything we can get to, like maybe take Aragus, whatever. Take that with some Italian divisions, get that for Russia because it would have some manpower, of course. They have cores on a lot of this territory, so keep advancing. How's the cipher going? It's not being decrypted like I thought it was. Why can't you just decrypt it? Decrypt it. Don't stop. Okay, good. That's going to take forever, though. Great, so don't stop doing that. And let's go back to the front here. We are having some victories. Have we taken control of any states yet? Kind of. No, I don't know. We are almost going to take control of it. Possibly. Oh, it's an occupied state. Can we ask for control of the state? They are not going to give it to us. Oh, well. Keep advancing, though, into Russia. And we have surrounded a Japanese division. What the Axis has is going to be destroyed. Probably it's stuck in Severodonetsk. Whatever. It's going to be wiped out, though, in a short amount of time. The Japanese are gaining back some territory they lost in Central Asia. Let's drive them back and continue our push. And I wish the Russian Empire would get this as cores. They should. I think they would anyway. I really hope they do. But I'm hoping, yeah, I hope the Germans just don't grab every state we capture and that Japanese division was destroyed. We will capture that for the Russian Empire. We just got done with some intelligence-related stuff that gave us, I think, a level in the government cipher school. Level that up. We can get a new operative. Get that done. Get, I guess, who can we get here? Let's get the Ambrosio Bava Bucharest, the safecracker as he's known. And his, well, we'll just have him on standby, I reckon. And let's actually start sending our operatives into the United States. Or no, we'll send them to Australia. We'll build up an intel network there in the Australian People's Republic, who is a member of the Allies. And our objective in Australia is to hopefully start a coup to distract the Allies, maybe. And that would be ideal for us, just to keep the Allies on their toes. And here is some more divisions. They're going to be given to us by Iraq. Thank you, Iraq. They'll go to our international army, the 10th Italian Army, which is basically the 2nd international army of our military. And let's start building some more military factories in Italy. There we go. Build some in Albania. Do that. Also in North Africa. Get that done. How is everything going in... Okay, good. We're holding out still in England. Well, not in England, but in the Americas. We sunk a Venezuelan destroyer. We sunk the USS Broome, a destroyer belonging to the USA. Now we sunk some Canadian convoys. So we are holding out despite the lack of continuous resources in the Americas. So that's good. We're not losing our ground per se. We are losing a few ships though, but we did sink like 7 American destroyers in a battle in the Caribbean. We sunk some more convoys, always convoys, more convoys, a lot of convoys. And some new divisions are ready. Let's send them off to the... Who will get these? Let's give them to the 6th Army, who is advancing in Asia, and the Russian Empire is getting a lot of territory. Wow, they're going to get a lot of stuff. Well, we're gaining a lot of ground for the Russian Empire and for the Axis as a whole. More and more in Central Asia and in Central Russia on this new Eastern Front. The USSR may be gone, but there still is an Eastern Front for the Axis. And with that said, I'm going to end part 18 of my Hearts of Iron for Italy playthrough here. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe.